how do you approach the League's Cup? Is it treated like the Open Cup? How do you handle this?
I think we're treating this with excitement and joy about being the first. We were the first the guys in the league, the new kids on the block, and now everyone's new to this format. So, we kind of all start on level terms with something that we don't know really, right? How it's going to play out, how it's going to progress. All right. So, these are all first for us, but first for the whole league. So we're excited about that, and we hope to do our job as best we can do and be very competitive. And, again, we speak about the competitive nature of our group. That's nothing new and nothing new that we're going to roll out. So we're just going to continue to be us.
Roman Berkey get the day off tomorrow?
He got the day off, so we're just getting him a little bit recovery time, and we will just see, we'll make a decision later today if we'll start Roman, take him with, there's a bunch of scenarios that we're going to play through. Roman's had a heavy program over the last couple of weeks, we'll do the smartest thing for Roman.
Bradley, playing against Columbus and Club America, what are your overall impressions of this group?
Well, I think it's a very tough group. I think you've watched the games last night. Every Mexican team is technical, tricky, feisty. So, it brings a lot to us. It sort of makes us, compete with really good teams, and that's all we want to do is play against good teams. And Columbus, they're one of the best teams in the league, if not the best passing team in the league. So, that challenges our principles, and our principles will challenge their principles. So that's a really exciting matchup for us, and one that we hadn't had through the regular season. We've played very similar teams, LA Galaxy, San Jose. So we've had a couple of reps at certain opponents, but, we just haven't faced Columbus. We know that we played against Columbus last year in the Next Pro final. We still have that fresh in our memory, the one that got away from us. So, that just needs to spark a little bit of us, our club, our history. We're still trying to forge and build more history with this club.
Next we'll go to John Lupo.
Yeah, John, just thinking about our previous 3, 4, 5 weeks, I don't think it's anything different to what we've been doing. We've had a pressurized schedule beforehand. Whoever's starting, whoever the lineups are, we feel that we'll be competitive, right? So we've done this a bunch of times through the season, and we've been supportive of our teammates. We've been supportive of the group, and we've believed in every one of our roster players. So, I do believe we'll put up a competitive group, and there's a quick turnaround. There's enough time to turn around the full group if we need to. So, we have options out there, and definitely excited about the rhythm that we have had and the momentum that we have had.
If I can ask a question about Messi and just what the impact of last night, and now that it happened, I guess the first question is like, where were you watching? Where were you watching? And what was your reaction when he scored?
Don't worry, I didn't have a watch party. I was just at home on the couch,
Sure.
Turned it on at the right time. He came in, he scored the goal. It just brings great focus to the league, and that's what it does do. It puts the league on the map, even more so if it never was as much, So, but again, it's the supporting crew, Like I thought players around Messi played really well. So even those young homegrowns, even against us, those homegrowns played really well. So. That's my storyboard. I really like looking at what's coming through, right? The contingency plan, the further down the line in 3 years' time. You know what I mean? So I really like what's happening now. I like the focus on the league, and what a story, what a moment for the league to witness that, for the world to witness that. And it's just big players step up in big moments, So we've seen it with our players through the season. Big players step up at the right moments, and the key in a soccer match is to win the critical moments, and that was for sure a critical moment.
Nice.
At this point, we're talking about looking at guys' minutes. Now, does Jake Nerwinski need minutes rather than Akil Watts over the season? Jake's played more, but lately, I mean, what's the balance on that right now? Is who needs?
I think momentum, right? Again, we feel very comfortable, and it becomes a case of personnel and opponent. Who matches up with who? You know, what does this opponent, restrict us? What do we gain by having a certain type of play in those positions? So we could go structural, we could go personnel, we could go individual opposition profile. So we look at a lot of little key battles, and we come up with those scenarios. But again, just being competitive and mixing and matching, different opponents as to our qualities and our strengths. What gives us the best chance to win?
It seemed like the break, a few extra days off at the start of the week. Do you see a refreshed team out there?
Yeah,
in
listen, I
practice?
mean, we got going straight away, and there was a lot of edginess in training, and even although the MLS has come to a break, our mentality hasn't stopped. So when we're on the field here, we've almost turned the volume up and dialed up the intensity a little bit more. I don't know. It just there seems to be a drive and a passion and an inner hunger in this group that's pretty fun to watch.
You're talking about, how different teams are going to dictate your lineups and things like that. So you talk about Columbus being one of the best passing teams in the league. You have the fact that cup games are a good time to get maybe players who haven't played a lot, like Nerwinski as of late. How do you balance the lineup against a team that's so good at passing, considering all those other factors?
Yeah, just looking at tendencies, the willingness to be brave, the willingness to stick to our principles, and for sure there's guys in different moments with different form, and again, the only way to get guys back to form and the guys back into contention is give guys minutes. So, we feel very comfortable, and I think you've seen we can make 10 changes, and still be competitive, right, for a certain period or for a certain moment and get results. So, if you go back all the way to San Jose and prior to then, go back through the injuries with Edu and Klaus. So we've always managed to pick up and find a way. So, we've been very competitive our last 11 games, and I think we were even more successful in this last 11-game stint as the previous first 11 games in our club's history. So it just shows how, impressive that the group has been to be able to adapt to certain moments and to pick up running where, the next man up mentality is very firm with us, you know what I mean?
With the Nico kind of finding his game and then Sam coming back and finding his spot, it's safe to say that with the absence of Klaus, you guys have figured some other things out in that spot. Are there any things you guys figured out about this team or how you're going to play from the absence of Löwen?
Yeah, I think adaptability and flexibility. So we've demanded a lot of the players. It's a young group, and we've come up with tactical scenarios. We've changed formations. We've changed lineups in games. We've changed the formations. We've changed a lot of our reps, because the opponent reacts to what we are doing, and then it's the game, the tactical battle within the game, and really happy with the group to be that flexible and that adaptable, to change to an uncomfortable situation, right? So, we're a brave staff who are not afraid to try things, who are not afraid to, in the moment, try and pick up, some success along the way in making, risky changes, I would say. We're not afraid of that, and we might make a mistake, and the players make mistakes too. It's just if we make mistakes, it doesn't mean that it's a failure. It means that we learn and we move on. So, we've done a lot of learning in this group.
Brad, earlier in the season, you were talking about playing with house money. Where's that account right now?
Yeah, we don't even think about now, the house money and where the league and what everyone spoke about, and, the edginess and the chippiness that, whoever it was, doubting us. I think it's built a desire and a hunger now for internal success, right? So we've upped the ante a little bit in terms of internal, we might have credit outside, but internally, we want to drive and compete. And how does that mean, compete? Yeah, listen, you're top of the table in the West, but you're not, you're still second or third or wherever or fourth in the supporter shield, right? So this competition and internal hunger of the group, we have some winners, just culturally, mentally. We have a lot of winners on our group, right? So, and that just drives the level up every single day in training. So we never have happy. I remember saying comfortable, never satisfied. So I think that's one of the ways that we continue to go about our work.
Hi, Coach. Two questions. One, interested in the mental part of the game. You talk a lot about controlling the controllables. Do you have any specific controllables you use with individuals or team?
Yeah, listen, I think the best form is, when I said earlier, if you make a mistake, there's different ways. Like I've had coaches who go crazy when you make a mistake, or I've had coaches who put an arm around you and try and guide you through the process. So I think it's learning what player needs what and what is the right time to implement a stern message, a firm message, or a friendly message, right? So I think there's different ways, and this has been a great learning curve for me too, because, we have so many different characters, we're so diverse, we have different cultures. For me, it's been a great learning curve how I say, and I haven't got it right, at all. So, this year I've made mistakes. So, and I learn and I grow, and we move on. So, and the players are really receptive to that, even when I make a mistake or say the wrong thing. And I think it's a very open relationship that I have with my players, and I think that's something unique and special.
Awesome. Catch any women's World Cup games?
Unfortunately not. I had the League Cup.
You've got that to do it. There could probably replay. Are you rooting for anybody? South Africa's in Group G here in the U.S.
Ghana's always, they won the African Cup of Nations, so they're not the unknowns. They do have some pedigree, and they have done really well. So obviously, the USA and I think the Banyana for me are the two. Obviously, one has impeccable history and success, and then South Africa is still trying to upset, a few people along the way. So I'll monitor that closely.
Bradley, besides Roman, still into question, is everybody available for tomorrow's game?
Yes, except Klaus and Joachim. The rest is all available.
It's about Torreson, the player you acquired yesterday. What are your thoughts and how he fits into this? Obviously not right away.
Yeah, listen, we're not even thinking about that right now. Obviously, it's another player to fill up our roster, but that's a couple of weeks away. Not sure what his time of arrival will be, and there's so much now happening. So for me, the next game is the most important thing right now. So. When Torreson, gets stateside and then we can get him his fitness and ramped up, and then we can start talking about Torreson. But right now, we're talking about our group.
But you like him?
We wouldn't have signed him if we didn't think he could help us. So, yeah, we like him. We would like him, stateside and be ready to work with him. But right now, he's a couple of weeks away.
Said anything to the Swedish guys when South Africa plays Sweden tonight?
Sorry, what's that?
Said anything to your Swedish players in South Africa and Sweden?
We haven't ventured too much offshores. We've focused. That's what I said about this group. They're pretty dedicated and focused to what's happening with us. And primarily we focused on Columbus and focused with us and the ping pong matches inside downstairs. So there's a lot of tension there at the moment.
Coach, thank you for joining us. We
Right.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks so much, Brad.
Edu, what's this like for you as a season stops, but you keep playing? You have a tournament within the season. What's this like?
Yeah, it's for sure different than in Germany. In Germany, we had like a couple more breaks. The season didn't seem so long because you would start in summer, had a short winter break, and and here we are always like, we have the next tournament, but which is also good. You can have games. It's always nice. It's always an enjoyment to have games. So, as the coach said, we are all very excited for the Leagues Cup. It's the first time that tournament has ever happened. So I think that's going to be very special for sure.
Is this good for you right now as you get back up to full speed? Because if there was like a month-long break here where you weren't playing, you'd kind of lose some of that progress. Is this good for you as you get back?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I want to keep playing. I want to increase my minutes more and more, and I want to get back to my confidence and to my fitness level, my best level. So I think that's very good for me. So I'm pretty happy that the next game is already ahead.
And how is your fitness level? How can you go 45 minutes or more now?
Yeah, we'll see about that. We increased the minutes a little bit against Miami, and we'll see from game to game what is possible, and also what will be the smartest thing, because if it's up to me, I want to keep going right away, But I think it's smart sometimes to go step by step, and then we'll see how many minutes I will get and I can do.
Edu, Did you see Messi's free kick last night?
Yes, I did. I did. Honestly, I was in the evening. I was at the barber shop, so I was watching it on my phone the whole time. Yeah, pretty impressive for sure. I mean, we just said it. We just talked about it. It looks so easy for him.
What did you learn as a specialist yourself when you observed his just the what 3 minutes that occurred from the foul to the time he took it? What did you see that the rest of us aren't going to see?
Yeah, I think I would say I bet for him it's like he's one of the best players who ever played the game, if not the best player. So I think there was a lot of pressure on him, and everybody was watching him and expecting a lot. I think it doesn't matter how good he is, you got to be mentally very strong to execute like that in a moment like that where everybody expects him to score and everybody's in the end like, yeah, was obvious that he's going to score. But I mean, you still have to do it. And I think you score maybe a nice goal once or twice, but he's like doing it in a consistency with, you can pick so many free kicks of him. I mean, it's just incredible for sure.
Edu, so this is a different tournament group with the team plays in a group, just 2 matches, and then if you do well, you advance. As a player, is the approach for a tournament like this different? Do you treat it differently that you will treat the regular season?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, if we would treat it different, then we have to question the mentality of a player because you want to win every single game. The mentality shouldn't even be different in a training session, And yeah, that's how I think we approach the game, and everybody should approach the game because you want to win every game, every training session. So it doesn't matter what cup or what tournament that is.
And with Columbus and Club America in the group, what are your overall impressions of the opponents?
Yeah, I think Columbus is a very good team. They have a lot of good individual players, especially in the front. With Zelarayan, Cucho Hernandez, and some other players as well who are pretty good, and they scored a lot of goals. So I think they are playing a really good season so far. And Club America, I don't know about the players so much individually, but yeah, Club America is obviously a big team and who is well known all over the world.
If I may ask one more Messi question, just because it's very exciting for the fans. Why is someone so small and so little so much better than everybody else?
I mean, that's a good question. I think you have to ask him that.
I'll give him a call.
It's hard for me to answer. I mean, he's just unique. The way he plays is just, I don't know. I think there's a lot of talent, but for sure also a lot of effort he put in his whole career. So it's hard to say. The way he plays, I think there's nobody else who plays like that and has qualities like him.
Thanks.
Just with a break in the league season, does this feel like a break? Is there like a mental relief at any point right now, or is it just another game in another part of the season?
No, I would say it's another game. So there's obviously not really a break. I mean, it's a break from the MLS, but we keep playing, and as I said, we want to win every single game. So as soon as we don't have any days off, we keep going, We had some days off, 3 days. Everybody enjoyed it, and yeah, now we are back at it. So it doesn't matter what tournament it is.
Ada, you've talked before about, I think you said it when you were coming back in your first game after injury and said it today about getting your confidence back. I think a lot of people make the mistake thinking a professional is always going to feel confident, but when you get injured, your confidence can be rattled. Can you talk a little more about how?
Yeah, I mean, I try to stay positive in these whole weeks, and because I'm always like having faith in whatever God gives me, and sometimes it's an injury and being a couple weeks out, but soccer is not my identity, and that gives me freedom, because it doesn't matter if I play good, if I play bad, that doesn't define me as a person, but still I want to play at my highest level and give my best every single game. But for sure, you are out a couple of weeks. It feels like you have to get back into it. You know, you have to get your fitness back as well, your fitness level, and then also, I don't know, in set pieces, but also these small things, you know, like easier passes. You just have to get into it again. You need like 1-2 weeks again, you know. I think it's the same, or not the same. I was out for 3.5 weeks. For example, Joachim, he was out for 1 year. I think you should give him time, you know. He will need time to get back at it, to know that he's pain-free and everything is all right. Because for me, in the first 1.5 weeks, I was still like thinking about it. Is there still something in my quad? Am I like fully recovered and everything, you know? And once you are over that line, I think it's getting way better for sure.
I know you're focused on the game, but I asked Coach, Germany, U.S., Women's World Cup. I think we might see each other in the final. Who you root for?
Yeah, that's hard to say. That's hard to say. But I think USA and Germany, they have a good team for sure. So yeah, could be that these two are in the final. Yeah.
And we'll wrap up with John Lupo.
Eduard, Columbus is obviously a very tough team, so when you've seen them on film, they obviously have a lot of playmakers. What do you think will be some of the keys in being able to contain them?
Yeah, I mean, as we analyze them, they are trying to play a lot underneath. They are trying to play as many passes as possible short. They are not playing a lot of long balls, so they are trying to always play their way out. So maybe that plays in our hands in the style we play. And yeah, we are trying to, you know, be prepared for that. And yeah, we'll see. We'll give our best, and I think we are prepared as good as possible.
If I could just ask one quick follow-up. With Joao being out for so long, there have been so many guys that stepped up for this team this year that's contributed offensively and defensively, but especially offensively, yourself included. Do you feel like that showcases the depth of this team, and how proud are you to see that some of the young guys like Azil and Sam being able to contribute as well? What do you think it speaks to the team, the balance of this team, and how well-rounded they are?
Yeah, to be honest, I think in the beginning, everybody thought we are not going to be able to compete with somebody. And then as we were competing, people were talking about, yeah, it's the starting 11, and then we don't have a deep roster enough to compete, you know, if we change the squad. And I think the guys, it's not like half a year ago, everybody is getting better, you know. We are just improving. Everybody is playing at an even higher level than half a year before. And also the guys from the bench, and I think they did very well, stepped up very well, played great games. You mentioned AZ, Sam, but also, I don't know, Akil and some other guys. So I think that's always very important, especially when you have such a long season and so many different tournaments. You definitely need that to be up there and to win as many games as possible.
Edu, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.